Okay. Welcome to Exponentially You. My name is Allie Payne. I am a certified life coach, a certified organization and relationship systems coach. You can find me online at alliepayne.com or pretty much on any social media at Allie Payne. I am here today because I'm so excited. I get to interview one of my rock star clients, Monica Kretschmer with Canadian Business Chicks. Thank you for being here today.
My pleasure.
And the reason this is really important to me is as I am just launching my own programs, the first one being Human Fundamentals, and it's coming at the end of September. I've put together these programs because over 20 years of training, facilitating, being a coach, my own personal experience, I've noticed a real theme of the types of topics that need to be covered at a fundamental level, sort of to build the foundation before we can go ahead and build the fortress, whether that's business, relationships, etc., all of that. Now, Monica, you and I definitely did a lot of work, particularly on your business. But really the same fundamentals apply, the same kind of things that we did for you that I think are really, really important. And I want everybody else to hear what it's been like for you having done that work and being in business, let alone being an entrepreneur, which is a whole other journey, and what that kind of thing looks like for you. So before we go any further, first, let's dive in a little bit without going too far in detail between you and I. You first called me, I think it was 2006 or 2007. And well, I'll let you explain from there.
So I answered an ad, and I always say that when you see something that resonates with you, take action on it. And it was just a very simple ad. You were starting your business. You said, call for a coach. And at that time, I was really looking for a coach, and I didn't know who Allie Payne was. So I picked up the phone, we had a quick little conversation, and then we arranged to meet. And I think that everybody that's looking for a coach has an idea what they're looking for, but they may or may not. They may not know exactly what that details. Like, I knew that I wanted to be accountable to someone. I was going to restart my business. I had a young baby, and I'm like, I need to be accountable to someone. And I know that mentoring, I've got you on the phone here, so I'm just going to hang it there. So I knew that at some level, I needed to invest in myself in order to build my business. Mm-hmm. So that's why I picked up the phone and connected with you at that time. And back in 2007, hello, it's
because so we worked a little bit together then, and you had, so much on your plate. You're seriously one of the most energetic people I think I've ever met. I don't even know where it comes from. It's like a wellspring within you. Yes. And then you and I reconnected, particularly because of your new business. So tell me about that.
Okay. So I think that comes with a part of connection. I mean, that's one of my little pet projects as well, is how people are connected. But when I reconnected with you, it's because I really did feel that you understood what I needed. And the moment I thought that, no, I've got a business to build now, I'm going to call Allie, and I want, number one, we build trust. Mm-hmm. You and I had connected, and there was a trust already built. Yeah. So I could have met somebody, a month before, a year before, but I remember that connection that we made and how impactful you were and how you took your clients' needs and you put them first. You didn't answer my questions. You made me work through them. Seriously, you made me work for it. So you didn't come and go, hey, everything's here, right? You actually made me work for what I was building. So I knew that when it was that I was going to build my business, the only person that I would call was you. And that was in February 2014.
14, was it 14? Wow.
Yes.
Last year, but you're right. It was that long ago. Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because I just wrote about this in a blog post, and I remember cleaning out my office, and I had been thinking about you, going, you know what? When I get to that level, I'm going to pick up the phone and call Allie Payne because she's the one that I want to help me move forward and gain clarity. and building my foundation for my business. So I found this card from like December, from a Christmas card from 2009. And like, this is the sign I'm looking for. Yeah. So immediately I picked up that phone and I contacted you, if you recall. So from there, it was only a month that we had our first meeting, and it was pedal to the metal because there was work to be done.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think that the important part was I was actually ready to make that leap.
Yes.
Where I was I may not have all the pieces figured out, but I knew what I wanted to do, where I wanted to do it, and I was out of the gate. And I needed a team around me to help build that.
Now, that's actually really, it's really important for those of you that are starting businesses to understand. Monica probably had a little bit more clarity than what a lot of entrepreneurs had right out of the get-go. And, tell me what that was like, Monica, because you really had, you just had this burning desire of, what was that for you?
It was building a community. And that's what it came to. I mean, when I put all my cards on the table, what am I going to do? How am I going to invest everything that I can possibly think of, putting all my talents together?
Yeah.
What does that look like? And Canadian Business Chicks was born out of that.
Yeah.
But still, all the information that I knew leading up to that event, I actually knew that there was a foundation that needed to be built.
Yeah. What
that looked like, I still had to go figure it out.
Right.
And that was an amazing experience. That was a really dive deep experience. It wasn't something that you could sit down at a table and hammer out in an hour. Yeah. I remember over the course of, at least a month, even just to get the core values.
Oh, yeah.
But that was really important. Yeah. And I knew that you can't build a business if you didn't really know what the values were for the business.
Yeah. And that's a great point. I think a lot of entrepreneurs have a very clear vision, but as you said, it's up here. And what's really important is this stuff down here. And that's
absolutely
where you and I went, okay, it was so great. You had all this. And then, okay, that's great. Let's go down here and give this thing a solid foundation for it to stand on so that as you go forward and grow your business, it becomes a bit of a compass. Now, you talked about values. Why was it important? Why do you think, if you could tell other entrepreneurs, why is it important for them to understand the core values for their business?
Okay, in a nutshell, it's your passion. If you actually don't live, eat, and breathe your business, nobody's going to buy into it.
Right.
So if you don't know why you're doing it, or you don't have something that people can gravitate to, there's no use of having a business. So you can sell matches out there, but why are you selling the matches?
So if I just said to you, well, come on, Monica, it's A, B, and C, and it's so exciting. And we're going to go do this, and it's going to be don't you want to come? Come on. The reality is that can be engaging enough over a short period of time. But as the values, now tell me the values of Canadian Business Chicks.
Okay, so this is the interesting thing. We did this exercise together.
Yeah.
And I remember this specifically because it was come up with your core values. And even though I know my core values,
right,
you're the list was 20 long, which was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it forced me to get really, really clear on what exactly those values are. Something that I can stand behind and talk about to a complete stranger.
Yes.
And be comfortable in that zone. Not ramble off a list of nice to haves, but actually core values. So I remember going out for my runs, and it took over, I think that process took maybe a week or so. I don't know, maybe even a month to fine tune it. But I would go out for my runs, and I download on my runs, and I'm core value, trying to clean my slate. Yeah. What are my core values? And I remember only coming up with one after every run. And literally, I would write it down. Courage. Okay. Next one. Confidence. Next one. Commitment. Integrity. And what I ended up writing down was a C plus C plus C plus C plus I. Oh, sorry, integrity. So courage, confidence, commitment, and integrity. So C plus C plus C plus I equals inspire others to greatness.
Yeah.
And that process was not an hour long. That was a lot of pounding. That was a lot of running to come up with that. Is a lot of clear mind and really going deep into what my core values were and what I wanted to everybody to resonate with for the business.
So I love what you just said, is that instead of rambling on, which so many of us who are in business do when we find we're being asked that question, so what do you do, is that we end up going on and we're not actually making a lot of sense, nor are we creating engagement. So when I hear you say that those values keep your words and your conversation completely focused around a really solid base, and you can take everything going around that, it's so powerful for me to hear that. And then I also noticed you didn't have to go and look those up in a book when I asked you. You didn't have to go run to another room and look them up. You know them. Like, you know them. They are a part of you. They're part of everything you do. And that is so powerful. So how have you used them within Canadian Business Chicks? Like, I know you use them in conversation, and I mean, that's really helpful when you're growing a business. How have you used them in your business? Because I think you have them on your website, right?
We have them on our website, but I also think it's part of separating the milk from the cream, especially when you're building a community. There's a like-minded, like-hearted sort of quality, and it's really, so do these resonate with you? You would be a fit. If those don't resonate with you, then maybe not so much. Right. So for us, in sort of building the community of the nest, and that's a whole other, channel, was building that safe environment and the nest and what that means is that those core values really will resonate with somebody or they won't.
Right.
And I find that the people that we're attracting are like, oh yeah, courage, confidence, commitment, integrity. Yes. And they may or may not have all of those qualities at different levels. I mean, who's 1,000% confident all the time, right? But It means something to them and it resonates with them. So that's how they identify, and that's how they've connected with us, with Canadian Business Chicks.
That's a great point, is that those core values and the clarity of those become the number one polarizer to grow your brand. People see polarizing as such a negative effect. And I'm thinking, no way, polarizing is awesome, because what did you say? Separate the milk from the cream? Like, why do you cannot and don't want to ever attract everybody. You only want to attract the people who are right for you. So here you are using the values as the number one polarizer to separate that out so that people know exactly what you're about and they know if they resonate with it or not. That's
and
awesome.
I think I should be using like an egg, like the yolk from the...
separate the yolk from the egg.
Yeah, exactly.
From the white, the yolk from the white, something.
Mark that down.
So tell me too about, because we also did purpose and we did vision. So let's start with purpose. How has it helped you, or maybe why has it been important for you to know the purpose of Canadian Business Chicks?
I can go on so many different levels, but I think that the purpose, you have to identify the purpose and why you're creating the company. It helps you narrow the target market as well as the reason why, or the benefit, or the solution that you're providing.
The solution you're providing, yeah. Now, what is Canadian Business Chicks' purpose?
To provide connection. And I'm going to go back here because I've tweaked this.
Okay.
So we provide connection
for
professionals and entrepreneurs with a passion for business and profit, who embrace life with courage, confidence, commitment, and integrity.
Right. So that's like your whole mission statement.
That is it.
Right.
But the purpose is connection.
Right. Exactly. And that's what so many people I don't think understand, is they think that purpose is actually what you said. What you just said is the very critical and hard worked on elements of your purpose.
Yes.
And your values and your vision statement all in one, and that you did the work to go and find that. So the purpose of Canadian Business Chicks is connection. And you also said
connection.
That truly is that is your value proposition at an emotional, spiritual level. Because if we don't understand that, we're there really is no unique proposition that separates you from many other groups, even though we know there's a big difference. Just knowing that you provide connection, and I think sadly it's something that our world is begging for. So I'm so glad that you're out there doing it so loudly as well. So now the vision statement. If purpose statement is the why, and it really is, what do you provide at a fundamental level? What is the vision statement, and how did that help as you're kind of taking off on your own trajectory here?
So the vision was just essentially your scope.
Yeah.
Right? It's that bigger, audacious, juicy, let's conquer the world.
Yeah.
Vision.
Your empire.
Right? Your empire. Right?
I love it. Because, I think when we're building a business, particularly as an entrepreneur, not as a well-funded team or whatever, it can be really easy for us to get distracted.
Yes.
Every day and saying, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And oh yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, there already is a significant level of that anyway. But when we understand our vision, that thing out here, so if I'm here, it's that thing over here, and that every day I take a step, if I'm not actually going in a pretty clear path toward
in that direction,
right, then I'm diluting my efforts. And if there's one thing that we cannot get back, it's our time. We might be able to make more money, we might be able to do a whole lot of things, but if we spend our time doing stuff that is out of alignment with our values and purpose and not going toward our vision, can't get that back.
Yes.
Can't get that back.
Nope.
So how, so what is the vision? It was, I missed it.
To build a global community for connection.
Love global community. I love that. Do you still find that engaging when you think about that?
You know what? I find that more and more, how would you say, attainable with platforms such as this.
Yes.
I do blabs and I have interviews, and I have live events, which are super, super important for connection, those deep relationships.
Yes.
But we're actually building a multi-level platform for connection.
Right. By using blabs, and you're very active on Twitter, I know. And
yes.
Yeah.
Anything else that comes down the pipe. I mean, why wouldn't you be on sort of the leading edge of all of those new technologies? And we think about being able to talk to somebody across the world, get their insight, their perspective. Mm-hmm. That circle of influence grows like crazy. So I think that global perspective comes a lot easier.
Yeah, and it's I find it so juicy when we have that vision and can wake up every day and go, yeah, I want that. I want to go in that direction. For sure. So what are some of tell us a little bit about Canadian Business Chicks and where you're at right now. I know you've got
we went out of the gate May 2014. We're just coming on our 2 years now, which is really exciting because I truly believe that we need to celebrate your successes.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm all about that. And I think I haven't shared it here, but when I was first, and you know this, that when I was first starting Canadian Business Chicks, that I wanted to include a celebration for women.
Yeah.
And you were actually involved in the inaugural event, which is so awesome, in 2015. So it was just a year after we had launched.
Yeah.
And I knew that because we were building a community of women, why not have an awards to celebrate women of inspiration? And more particularly, I built it to say thank you to a woman inspiration in my world. I'm getting a real big echo, so I probably sound real happy. But I built that woman of inspiration to say thank you to a woman in my world and really draw in those individuals such as yourself to make it so much like there's only one legacy event and you were part of that. You spoke at that event. So it's really interesting to see how that's growing and evolving because that celebration piece is big. That's a whole little island on its own.
Yeah.
And when I went out there with the vision and whatnot, I knew that would be big, but I just didn't realize how big it's going to be getting.
Yeah, I mean, and in your first year, you sold it out. I did have the pleasure
Correct.
of speaking at that, and it was sold out with what, 200 people?
Yes.
200 people sold out year one. I mean, year
Year
one.
one.
And the stories and the just the as Monica's saying, you know, the celebration in the room, because I really, really, as a coach, as a person, I really
Yes.
don't think that we do that enough, that we
Yes.
celebrate each other. And I love that what you say at your event, and it's Women of Inspiration, correct? Women of
Correct.
Inspiration event is that every woman has a story. Everybody has a story, and that we need to be witnessed in our stories, and we need to be heard. And that's so much a part of the purpose of connection, of connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as my story unfolds and as the business unfolds, there's some real takeaways, you know, the connection that happens at our events at so many different levels.
Yeah.
It's that learn, share, educate, that storytelling. It's the empowering women,
Right.
providing that platform in a safe environment, which we call our community the nest. So we empower women to have a voice,
Yeah.
and then we celebrate them.
Yeah.
So on the simplest level, it's connect, learn, empower, and celebrate.
Right. Right. Yes. Love that. Love it.
And I find that I'm really excited because we're just gearing up for a Woman of Inspiration, October 1st, 2016, Calgary.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that all of the relationships that we've built from even before I started Canadian Business Chicks, everybody wants to be a part of that because we celebrate every woman.
Yeah.
And a Woman of Inspiration is so different to everyone that you meet. And that's why it's unique.
Yeah.
You will never run out of women to celebrate.
No. And again, as you're saying, because every woman has a story, you know, and when we connect and we hear each other's stories, as you said, just hearing some of the stories last year, your first year out, I was so inspired at that event. And had I not connected with that person, the speaker, and some of the other women that I met there, I wouldn't have known their story. And so I had an opportunity to grow and be inspired myself just by being there. And it was fantastic.
Well, thank you. It meant a big deal for you to be a part of that event, going back to the 2007.
Yeah.
11 years later, there was a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, 11. Forget my math.
9 years later, it was
9 years later.
It was
it was interesting how I've built that. You helped me sort of get clear in order to build my business. And I only look forward to the next 10, 20 years to see where this relationship collaboration goes. It gets me all excited.
I know. I can't wait. So Canadian Business Chicks, you're a membership-based business, right?
Yes.
But I don't have to be a member to attend for something for a first time. I can come try it out.
No, we like to invite people to experience the nest.
Right.
And so you can come and say a non-member,
right,
2 times to our events.
Right. Awesome.
And then you need to invest.
For sure.
So when we say we help and support women, we really, really like to be advocates for women in the community that are advocates and supporters of each other. And we're providing an opportunity, which is a really diverse, so there's professionals, entrepreneurs. You have such a great level of diversity that there's lots of business going on.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's on the same level where they're not interested in buying the same project. They're all kind of doing the same thing or at the same level of business. We have startups with medium-sized business. We have, women that have, got empires that are in Canadian Business Chicks. And then we have the associations. So from, legal, HR, law. I mean, there's just so many construction, so many different types of women and I truly believe that everybody brings something to the table.
Yeah.
And when I'm trying to explain that to somebody, I say, did you ever attend a potluck? So when you attend a potluck, everybody brings a dish, but everybody is welcome to bring a friend, somebody that they think would benefit from that environment.
Right.
And it's like-minded, like-hearted individuals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And magically, you put all these women in a room and some magic happens. Like every single time there's some sort of magic that happens.
Right.
And that's what happens at our events.
Yes, I totally agree, because I've been to a couple outside of Women of Inspiration as well. And you know, the other thing I have to say is that your newsletters, I mean, let's face it, we all have an inbox that sort of makes our eyes roll back in our heads sometimes, because
yes,
please stop sending me, you know, all this stuff. I always look forward to your newsletters.
Thank you.
I love what you share. You are so authentic, and I always find what you have to say so relevant. So the message is really great, you know, and then I also love, because you are membership and you are so much about, I know, supporting the nest, right? So there's always a member profile, and the yours is one that I read the whole thing and I scroll down, because I love, you know, you've got your upcoming events, and there's always something going on that people can connect with, and they can get to know at least one more person better just right there in that newsletter. So if you're not on Monica's newsletter, you need to get on our newsletter. So they can do that at your website, Canadian Business Chicks.
Correct. CanadianBusinessChicks.com. I'll type it in here.
Okay, CanadianBusinessChicks.com, and then they can just sign up for the newsletter there, right? Yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah, you put that in there. It's a really relevant message, and it doesn't matter if you're a CEO or you're a stay-at-home mom, or it's just relevant. And whether it's Monica sharing some of her learning, or an insight, or even, you know, an event coming up or something, it's always good. So make sure that you get on that. Now, as far as social media, right? So
social media. So we're on Twitter. Love Twitter.
Twitter is at Canadian Business Chicks, which is at CDNBIZCHICKS. So you'll find it here. We've been tweeting with each other just to announce this blab, so we'll put that there. Now, for your blabs, you use hashtag NestBlab. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, hashtag NestBlab. So if you're searching here on the blabs, Monica does a great job of interviewing people, all members within the nest, again, to support, lots and lots of support. And let me tell you, there are unbelievably skilled and fascinating women in the nest. Those interviews are incredible, so you're going to want to be a part of those. Now, anybody can join. It doesn't matter really where they live, right? They can join and be a member, because they're going to get value either through these interviews, through your newsletters, all of that stuff.
You know, the moment that you sign up, you get a membership directory.
Nice.
And we've just launched a speaker directory as well.
Yeah.
So the moment, I think the best advice that I can give anybody, whether you're advancing your career or you have a business at any level, put your name out there, put your eggs in a couple different baskets.
Yeah.
You know, that membership allows you visibility, link back to your website, an opportunity for you to create a bio that's not just, you know, women do 5 different things. Create that bio, something that you can social share on all your media channels, and it provides another level of visibility for you in your business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You can contribute to the blog. So we have a blog.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is fantastic. Yes. So, I mean, when you write these fabulous articles, you have another place to share it and another place to go back to your website. Mm-hmm. Like, these are really simple things that, you know, provide you extra traffic, SEO, and just visibility.
Right. Right.
To get your word out.
Yeah. So tell me, okay, so your Women of Inspiration event, is it October?
It's October 1st,
okay,
2016 at WinSport.
And they can get
in support of
on your website?
Yes, everything's on the website. Okay. So we have a nomination, and we're really asking for people to nominate Women of Inspiration. Yeah. And the nomination is going to be open until August 31st. So anybody can nominate a Woman of Inspiration. And then we invite you to join us at our event on October 1st. Ticket sales are on now, an early bird, and they'll be on sale until, June 15th.
Got it. Okay. And listen, I know Monica, and if she sold out the first year, I am willing to bet a lot of my money that she is going to sell out the second year, even though there is double the amount of people going. So if you want an amazing, and it's a morning, isn't that right, Monica?
It's a brekkie. So it's Saturday morning. There's zero conflict with
morning.
missing work. You can ditch out of the house. Say, honey, take care of the kids. I'm going to have a little me time. I'm going to invest in me. And I find that that's the best time in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, from 9 till noon, you come in, you network, you get to be inspired. Some amazing speakers. This year we have Dr. Shonda Perrin, and she has been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for Project Forgive, which is super, super cool.
Yeah.
And we also have Rachel Meikle from Hilberg and Burke.
Right.
And last year, Bette Wilson spoke about Rachel, and this year she's going to be speaking at our event. So that's really special. Michelle Morgan of CBC Heartland, the TV series, will be emceeing the events, and we have a few other celebrities there as well. So it's going to be a really great event, and really just celebrating those nominees that have been nominated for being exceptional in the community.
So it's from 9 till 12, is that right?
9 till 12.
Okay, so 9 till 12 on Saturday, October 1st. So you want to check out Canadian Business Chicks so that you can be part of that.
Yes.
You are about go-getters in business. So you're looking for just some kind of connection. Definitely check out what Monica's going, because let me tell you, she's going places. Big places.
And we're also giving back to the community. So a big piece of Women of Inspiration is also being able to give back to the community and help and support, build programs for Homefront and domestic violence. So that's something that's near and dear to my heart, and they need all the support they can get. You don't even have to wait to donate.
Yeah.
But I'll put that link down here, because you can certainly go online and donate before the event.
Okay, well, that's awesome. And I wanted to, so here is proof of great minds alike. So Monica's event and my program are on the same weekend.
I know,
but they're really two very different programs, so it's all good. Mine is a 3.5-day retreat, really to do a lot of the things that Monica is talking about. So instead of you taking months to get this kind of stuff, it's going to be limited to 16 people. So really a lot of one-on-one personal time, so that you can get the kind of clarity that Monica has about her business and life in your own life. This one is called Human Fundamentals. It's more, a lot of feedback. Sorry.
It's my job taking.
More just about, it's more about life than it is focused on business. But that kind of clarity that Monica has is also available. So it's September 29th to October 2nd. My website, allypayne.com. My hashtag is #ExpoYou, EXPOYOU. So you can find me on any kind of social media there. And I'm going to continue these interviews with some of my past rock star clients who are shooting for the moon and already on the stars. And you can hear about, not from me, but hear about from them. What does clarity look like? What does it sound like? What's it worth? And take it from there. Make your own decision from there. So we're at about half an hour, Monica. So I'm going to end the recording here. And I just want to thank you so much for your time, for sharing with everybody. And again, you can find Monica at Canadian Business Chicks. And she's put lots of her little Twitter feeds and hashtags there on the side. So if you have any other questions, you can reach her, or you can just call me. Did you want to add something?
Yes, I will.
Okay. What are you adding there? What are you adding, Miss?
There we go. Oh dear. Inspiration was spelled wrong.
You know what? I have a rule. No marks for spelling. I stand at the easel all the time.
Black does not have spell check.
No marks for spelling on my easel. Trust me, stuff I end up spelling by the end of the day looks really awesome.
And I want to say thank you so much, Ellie. It's been an absolute pleasure. I was really, really looking forward to having the opportunity to share, because I really am so thankful to have you in our world. And I believe that when you do invest in yourself, you have to invest in the best possible people that, number one, understand your passion. Number two, want to help you get there. And number three, will just push you in the direction to get you to work at those goals and those clarity. Because if you don't have somebody kind of that you're accountable for, it's going to be pretty hard to get there.
Yeah.
And those relationships build, and they don't just end the moment that you get that solved. I mean, that's when the real work begins.
Yes.
And the real relationship begins. Because I think that you can probably say is that all your relationships with your clients continue. They don't say, thank you, Allie, we'll see you later. Bye-bye. No, it's a continued work in progress, and as it should be.
Yep.
As you evolve as a person, your company grows, and I think it's always good to take a step back and look at it again, and then revisit those same purpose and goals that you had in the beginning to see if you're aligned.
Yes.
Or see if there's something that you can tweak.
Yeah, and that's a great point, is that it's so important to constantly revisit. And I want to be clear about this, not for the sake of necessarily tweaking, because a purpose isn't like a goal. Like, we don't reset it all the time. The purpose is the purpose. The values are the values. Monica doesn't, open her book every day and go, I wonder what the values are today. They don't.
No.
They are set. That's who she is. That's who the business is. But it is important to constantly check in with them, particularly, you're celebrating year 2, which is fantastic.
Yes.
But to have them, up on a wall in your office, or, I got some stuff here behind me, as you can see, because it's really important that we don't get off track. And it is easy to. It's easy to get off track. It's easy to start getting away from our behavior compass of what our values are. And then we start to dilute, and we start to lose some of that alignment that we have. And we can't figure out why sometimes things go really off the rails. And if we unravel and we look back, we go, yeah, I was kind of off track on this, and I wasn't actually being constructive on this value, or stuff like that. So that's a really great point. Make sure that you're checking back with those compass. I call it, they're like a compass, having your values and your purpose and your vision, so that you're on track on a regular.
And I think it also helps, Allie, when you're actually trying to build your team.
Oh, yes.
If you're able to articulate what your business is, what your core values are,
yeah,
then when you ask, when you bring people on board, they get it. They can embrace it on so many different levels.
Yeah.
But they know the core values of the company. And that's when you encourage them to, embrace that, learn it, and there's a formula. But then you empower them to do the best that they can do. Huge point.
If you're going to start building a team and you don't have this foundational stuff done, we love to say we hired the wrong person, they just didn't get it. We love to say all those things, right? But ultimately, as the leader, whether you're the owner or not, as the leader, we have not set them up to succeed. We've set them up to fail. And that can be really expensive and time consuming. So like you said, having all of that foundational work, it attracts the right people, and it also helps them to know I call them the gutter guards, like in the bowling. I have to use gutter guards.
Yes.
It's terrible.
I like those too.
Yeah. If we use the gutter guards, it helps us stay in the lane, and it keeps so that we get the team going all in the right direction as well. That's a great point. Very, very.
And I think too, if you were to look over to the right here, I think I've had my sticky notes literally on a great big wall. My mission, vision, values.
Yeah.
It's all mapped out there.
Yeah.
People walk in there like, what is that? And either they like it or not. Who cares?
Yeah.
But that for me, that keeps me focused. Just like your page behind you there has all of your core values on there. Yeah. And I think whether you're a head of a corporation and you have this great big fancy office, or whether you're working out for your home office, whatever is your place of business, you need to be very clear on that. When people come in, they're like, okay, they understand.
Yeah.
It's not just a sales pitch.
Yeah. And, actually, that's another great point, is that your values and your vision and your purpose and all of those things, they're also they're fundamental, but they're not things for you to sort of, keep this close to you and not share. As you have done, and as I challenge all of my clients to do, and as I've done myself, they need to be they are actually the building blocks for every piece of marketing language, and they should be all over your website,
everywhere,
and your business cards and everything, because otherwise it comes down to, we make money. Well, guess what? So does every other business. We have, the X, we have Y, so does every other business. So if you're going to do the work and have that kind of clarity, why not use it as your fundamental marketing material and build everything else around that? See?
You mean like these?
Yes. Yeah, I know. I love that.
Like, I don't know if you can see it.
Yep, I can. What inspires you?
And then a mission statement.
There's a mission statement. So right on your
right
cards, yeah. And right there, it's telling people this is what I'm about. There's no question. They don't have to wonder. So you're far more likely to attract the right people and send the people who are not attracted on their happily way and hope they find something that is. So that's really great.
And maybe they'll come back.
Yeah.
I find that sometimes it's a little bit of a navigation. They're not quite sure, but they're usually back.
Yeah.
They're usually back.
Yeah.
Right? Baby steps.
Right? Timing.
Mm-hmm. It's all timing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because without, I think, the purpose and the vision and all of that really fundamental core information, it is a sales pitch.
Yes.
Like it really, if you look up in the dictionary and you see that used car guy and that whole thing, it truly is that, except when we're not speaking from that emotional level, which if you've heard anything about Simon Sinek, right? It starts with why.
Yes.
So if we're not talking about that and we're not putting that out there first, then what are we putting out there? Because it's not likely to attract people.
It's not authentic.
It's not authentic, right? Right. It's all kind of foofy around here that anybody else can do. And that's really important, that purpose, there is only one you, the mold was broken after that, and there's only one Canadian Business Chicks, and there isn't any other business doing what you do. And there is a reason that Canadian Business Chicks exists, and it's not just to make money. That is a byproduct of being in business. And I certainly hope, that unless you're running a charity, and even then you need to have some money, but getting that so clear that you know why you're in business. And you know what? It helps to inspire even you, right? Going forward, connect.
Yeah. Just wait for that connection.
Yeah.
That's a book.
Yeah. That'll be in our book. It's coming later.
But it's so funny when you talk about that connection, what separates you from someone else. I truly have to say that we've actually developed a nest culture.
Yeah.
We say, come and experience the nest.
Right.
It's that safe environment that welcomes women at every stage of life or career. And when I went out of the gate and I was trying to explain that that's the environment that I wanted to create, that just did not exist. People focus on one market. And they looked at me like I had 4 eyes. And if I wasn't clear on my foundation, my goals, my vision, I would have curled up my tail and ran away. But I didn't. I'm like, okay, maybe you need to hear it a couple more times. Maybe you need to see what I'm creating. And 2 years later, they're like, you're a smart little cookie. Right? Now they see the diversity piece is really, really strong.
Right.
And what we're building is not out there.
Yeah.
But that's the tough thing too, is when you're building something that doesn't exist, you got to get past the naysayers.
Right.
You have to be strong enough in your core, in your values, in order to move forward.
That's a great point that you just made there, is when you're really clear on your values and you are living from them and expressing them, you have the opportunity to form such a powerful and strong and unique culture, because that's something, having worked in businesses, a lot of people say, well, what's your culture? Well, I don't know. It's defined as the personality of the company and all these other things. Culture truly is about the values, right? It's about the values and the purpose. And because you had that right at the beginning and you chose to do that work, forming that culture that people weren't really sure was going to go, or that it could happen, or that it was true, now you've got it, and you have it because you had that very, very crystal clear foundation to start with to build this culture on.
It was I think we've been very, very fortunate to be attracting strategic partnerships.
Yeah.
So we've actually partnered with Business Link, which is a resource tools for Alberta. And they help businesses, men or women, but more specifically, there's resources for the women in the nest. You know, and we've just got a list coming down the pike with organizations that we're partnering with. And it's because of our core values.
Yeah, that they align, right?
That they align.
That's right. But it's because you're clear enough that you've put them out there. Otherwise, they wouldn't know if you align or not. And that
and nurturing those relationships too. Proving yourself, number one, nurturing the relationships, and being able to provide value.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Awesome.
We're really off time.
I love it though. It's okay.
We can talk forever.
All right. I thank you so much for being part of this and for sharing your story. Canadian Business Chicks, again, Monica Kretschmer, thank you so much. And her Women of Inspiration event, you can find that all on our website. I'm Allie Payne, and I'm at alliepayne.com. My new program is Human Fundamentals, and you can find it there. There is an Exponentially You pre-sales list, and if you're not part of that list, you cannot be eligible for the pricing. It's 40% off the regular price, so you need to go on my website and click as part of that. It opens up June 1st, so you're not going to want to miss it. It's all of that juicy stuff that Monica's talking about. So,
and you know what? I'm almost thinking I'd love to do a surprise visit on this Sunday.
We'll work it out.
I might just do that.
Okay.
Because I'm just so excited for you building this program. I see that you offer huge value. And I'm so grateful to have experienced and have that relationship with you. So if you're thinking about it, just do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Monica. Okay.
You're welcome.
Great, everybody. We're going to sign off the recording. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks. Oh, hey. Yeah. And if you liked it, share it with everybody.
Oh, yeah. Share it around. Sharesies. Big compliment.
Bye-bye.